keep this like an hour?
Yes,
sure. Yeah, a new episode of For All Mankind dropped. So yeah, kind of like about 20 minutes ago.
Fuck, really?
Yeah.
Oh, he was on. Sorry. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
sorry. No, we're good.
This is not my fault as producer.
Jack, best producer ever.
I'm on my way to podcast this morning. But I'm never sure what I'm gonna see. They're always having a good time down on the Ramblecast. The boys sure to bring the best of me. Lord, I was born a rambling man. Trying to make a living and doing the best I can. Cause when it's time for rambling, I hope you'll understand that I was born a rambling man.
Nice.
Actually, I'm surprised it took you so long to do a song with rambling in it.
I know. Well, I've done a few with rambling in it.
Oh, have you?
Yeah, that's the one that, yeah, when you think of rambling, that's
Have you done Ramble On yet?
That would be one Jay.
Ramblecast.
Yeah.
Ramblecast.
I asked Jay to be a part of this, but he said maybe. He had some kind of
whatever.
You know, Jay. He got a
I don't.
cut first. He got a he got a splinter or something.
Oh.
I don't know. Take it out. I can't record.
Anyway, like I had like a bump pop up on my finger the other day. I was like, "What the fuck is that?" And so I don't
Fucking
know.
monkeypox, dude.
It's something. Yeah, I just got the razor blade out though and cut it, and then it was fine.
This fucking thing on my neck.
It just means the Viagra was working in the wrong spot.
I guess
That's
so.
like
Yeah.
ingrown.
It was
neck
hard.
hair.
Oh, I hate those.
I had one.
I got monkeypox.
I had one right here, right on my chin. It's like, God, I hate those things.
Worst.
But anywho, so
Cindy was like going, why haven't you shaved? I go, I hate shaving. I hate shaving, but it's I never
Me
mind
too.
getting a haircut.
No,
I never mind getting my haircut. So there should be a choice in life, right?
Yeah.
No beard. Give me my hair back.
sure.
well,
No hair on my back. Give me my hair back on top of my head.
I can't grow a beard, so
Yeah,
Well, maybe someday when you hit puberty,
I know
it will
it's-
happen.
It's gonna be one of those. It sucks. Like I basically have like if you ever saw Joe Dirt back in the '90s, I had the
Life's
same.
a garden,
issue.
baby.
I had the same issue. Just kind of grows in all the white trash areas. It's just like just like just a chin beard, a jawline beard, it's like
I've had some variation of this for like the last 10 years, maybe.
I hate. Well, mine's all gray. I mean, just all.
I'm getting a little bit of grayness on the outsides of the chin.
But I said I'll shave tomorrow. I don't have time. I gotta get here early and get everything set up. I can't just arrive at 9:29.
Right. Yeah. So this is I have to work tomorrow, unfortunately. But after tomorrow, it's a dermatology podcast, says John.
Yeah, that's basically we're
whatever. Fuck off.
We're gonna be professionals now.
We're gonna be a master zip poppers or whatever they're called.
Exactly. Oh, I
Pimple
can't watch
popper.
those fucking things.
MD.
Nope.
Nope.
So I'm working tomorrow, but my vacation officially starts on Saturday, so I won't be around next week.
So we'll probably be taking next week off, is what you're saying.
We'll be taking.
Well, I am. You guys
So
can.
if it would just be Jack and me, and maybe a guest star. But yeah, because then I'll be off. I'll be off the second and third week of July. Because I'll be in San Diego.
All right, Nick. We'll work on getting a co-host of three of us. I'll find somebody.
Anybody.
There you go.
It's not like Chris is hard to replace.
Oh,
Jesus Christ.
we just need someone who's sitting there, puts himself on mute, and ignores what's going on.
I do not ignore what's going on. I put myself on mute because I'm sitting here cracking these fucking things.
I'm just giving you a hard time. Relax.
I know.
He's
But
our
you have to
internet
understand
looker-upper.
this
He's
is
our
because
fact-checker.
I'm 7.5 months, 8 months in of no vaping,
Well, that's great.
no
That's
nicotine at
fantastic.
all. So
No
I have
pot,
to have these little
right?
I definitely have pot. Just
You're such a
popped
quitter.
one right before we started. But I haven't had any nicotine in almost 8 months at this point, so I need to have some type of fucking habit.
That's great, actually.
Thank you. So I do you guys the justice of not having listened to me cracking the sunflower seeds every 5 seconds.
Well, we
I put myself on
appreciate
mute.
that.
Jack
Well,
eats pretzels like he didn't care. You know?
He doesn't give a fuck. He has literally zero concern for other people listening to him.
I'm not the fucking producer. I don't. When was
We
the
are
last
now.
time I had? When was the
Yes,
last
you
time
are.
I had pretzels?
Last time we gave you shit for it.
Please, Chris, don't be a Matt. What do you mean, don't be a Matt?
When you got a little sensitive when I was picking on you.
Oh, that's true.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's the last thing I am.
Are you wearing jeans?
No.
I did talk to Matt today. He's doing well.
That's good.
I mean, I texted him. I didn't actually speak to him, but he seems like he's doing pretty good.
We should just like FaceTime and bring him into the fucking show. It's like no choice.
just fight. You're not quitting on us. Fuck you.
Yeah, you thought you'd get away with this. So this is like it's like vacation eve for me, but my wife and kids are going down tomorrow while I work.
So that's a vacation for you tomorrow.
We'll have to work.
Yeah, but
So.
I mean, come home, right?
Yeah, I'm
Oh,
gonna
you
come home.
already
I'll have the house to my my buddy Dave's coming over because he's going up to the Cape as well. So he's gonna come and crash with me tomorrow, and we're gonna. I think he's gonna have a lazy Saturday because we can't technically check into our place until 4 o'clock on Saturday.
Okay. I was tomorrow is like the worst day to work. I mean, but if you have a lazy Saturday, it's good because you got the ending of Stranger Things, you got The Boys dropping another episode, and For All Mankind tomorrow. So
Oh, is Stranger Things out tomorrow?
Yeah, the last episodes of the season
at midnight tonight, I think. Yeah, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, really? Okay.
But yeah, so I'm pretty excited for my shower beers outside and just 7 days of sitting on the beach and
drinking Corona.
Use that sunscreen because you don't want to have to go to a dermatologist.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm a big fan of SPF shirts, much like the one I'm wearing right now.
Yeah,
because it's so sunny in my basement. But yeah, I'm very big on sunscreen. Unfortunately, my wife wasn't for a long period of time, so she's gone through a couple different bouts of cancer, including skin cancer. So we don't need to go through that anymore in our house.
I have to go get checked. I got all these things on me now because I grew up in San Diego.
Those are ticks. Those are ticks, Jack.
Yeah. We used to put butter on ours. We don't have any deer anymore, so I don't think we have ticks anymore. I told you that one time we had deer. I had a tick on my balls once.
Oh God.
Yeah, I was thinking.
Never mentioned ball ticks.
No,
it probably was a married man show.
It was
But,
it had gotten so big, you thought you had a third testicle, right?
It's like, hey, I'm going to impress the ladies. But no, I said, oh, God damn it. So I got some tweezers and just yanked it off.
There's a joke in here somewhere.
Oh,
I don't know. I'm still around, so I guess it's okay. It's been like almost 18 years of the ball tick. So but I've had them on. You sit there and you go, what the hell's on me? I go, oh, goddamn tick. Just get tweezers and
you get like, especially when I did archaeology, like you get tickitis, which is when they're not even on you, but you think they're on you because like you just, and it's like that creep, like a spider, like that tingle feeling. You're just like,
my dog used to get them all the time.
I live right next to like a swampy stream in my backyard, so we have lots of mosquitoes and ticks around here. So I actually pay to have someone come and spray my yard every 3 weeks to come and just keep them at bay. And it works pretty well.
Because we have a little creek that goes through our backyard too, but since the deer have left, since they destroyed their habitat, so we haven't seen them yet. Because the deer would come up, we'd feed them, and they'd have these huge ticks on them. I'm like, hey, that sucks for you.
And the ball ticks.
Yeah, ball ticks is absolutely the episode title this week.
Vacation.
This episode is brought to you by Jack's Sack Ticks.
Sack ticks. It'd have been a lot easier now to take it off because I could just do it by my feet, I wouldn't even have to, bend down.
Jack's got old man balls now.
What are you gonna do? It happens. Yeah. It happens. Again, like I said, nobody prepared me for having to sit on my balls one day. No one ever said it. Someday, hey, you're gonna sit on your balls because you're older.
So
again, I know that's happened to you, Chris.
There's a story about that from Comic-Con about 10 years ago. I think this is the 10-year. Holy shit! This is the 10-year anniversary for anyone out there listening to Nut 11. Nut 11 was discovered 10 years ago on the rooftop of the Hilton. And why Nut 11? Well, because when you sit in your nut, you'll never forget.
Oh, it is the worst pain.
Are you sure it's 10? I didn't think he went to Comic-Con in 2012.
Oh shit! 11 years ago. Yeah, because it was
Rain Man.
Yeah.
Well, no, because I came home from Comic-Con and found out that I was going to be a father when I got home.
Right.
That's right. Yeah.
The last Comic-Con I went to.
Luckily, you planted the seed before you went to Comic-Con, right?
That's true. 3 months prior,
Yeah.
or not, maybe a little bit less than that. Yeah.
I think what makes the pain so bad is you don't. It's not like someone coming up to you and kicking you in the balls or getting hit the ball. You just don't know what's going to happen. You sit down.
It's the worst.
And you go. I remember I was going to clip my nails or something. Sat down on top of the toilet seat cover. I was like, flipped on the bathroom floor. Going, oh.
Yeah, dude, sitting on your nuts is no joke. That sucks.
It's the worst pain I've ever had. I'd rather have root canal.
Yeah.
I've done it once. It was not pretty. It was not pretty.
I think I've done it twice, but now I do prepare myself when I sit down now.
Yeah, so this is all part of the same conversation that year. We talked about Nut 11, and then we also talked about powdering your balls. And everyone everyone's like, "What the fuck are you talking about, dude? What do you mean you powder your balls? You put Gold Bond in your nuts?" And I was like, "Yeah, you do. You if you don't, you're gonna have ball chafe. And there's actually some things in life are not you just never want. And
I've never had ball chafe. I don't think.
Really?
I've never powdered my balls. I don't.
No, powdering your balls stops you from getting ball chafe.
No, I've never done it. And I've never had it. So,
but you grew up in a dry climate. That's the thing that Chris, like East Coasters, especially Southerners.
Well, I've been on the East Coast for 20 years.
I know for a long time, but how many times have you really been athletic though since in the 20 years that you've been out there? Aside from being on an ice rink, I mean, you're not out there playing soccer. You know.
Well, you sweat pretty good in an when people think you freeze in an ice rink. You sweat more in an ice rink than anywhere else.
I would picture a hockey player having. Well, you would. You'd have sweaty balls.
Yeah, you need absorbents. Yeah, but that's what.
Plus, you're wearing a cup too. So
true.
There's no breathing going on down there.
So, anyways, like that conversation popped up about powdering your balls.
Yeah,
and I do remember that.
It's a necessary thing, man. I actually have liquid ball powder now. I love it.
I remember you recommended, if I remember correctly, you recommended a product.
Yeah, ballsy.
Yeah,
that's amazing. It's fucking amazing. I went for a hike the other day with my wife and Emma, and we went. It was fucking 90 degrees and sunny and just gross and humid. And I lathered that shit up before I left the house, and it was fucking perfect. Awesome.
Yeah.
No ball. I mean, there was ball sweat.
Are you coming, Chris? 1 second.
Oh, yeah. Airing it out the side of the shorts, like the whole nine. Liquid ball powder. Stuff's amazing. Highly recommend.
All right. Like I said, I don't do any exercise. I mow the lawn. That's about it.
Yeah. Anywho,
that's about like the majority of this podcast so far has been about balls.
Yeah, it's been a lot about balls.
Well, at least it's informative.
Yeah,
it is.
It's not like it's useless information. Well, I think everybody out there knows somebody with balls.
Yeah,
right?
That's true.
So this is information for everybody out there.
Yeah. Balls suck sometimes, man.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, I'm glad I'm not where you two guys are at yet. Yeah, I know they get longer as you get older, but I'm glad I'm not sitting on mine yet. So
I've only sat on them once, and it was an awkward sit. That's the only reason why.
I'm to the point. I'm to the point now where I blame the cat for tripping, but it's actually tripped on my balls. It's just like, it's just like, what happened? A goddamn cat again. So you got to do what you got to do.
Wheelbarrow. You're going to need wheelbarrow soon.
Yeah, dude. You see that picture of the guy who has to wear an upside-down hoodie for his balls? He's got elephantitis the nuts. He's gonna wear an upside-down hoodie for pants. Just for his nuts.
I haven't seen that, man.
I'm gonna pull it up for you right now.
No. I don't need to see it.
It's happening.
No, it's bad enough you send the big dick pictures. I don't need to see
I haven't sent a big dick picture. Do you?
Yeah, that was early COVID.
Not in a while. You see the guy on the plane?
Oh, good God.
God.
That dude.
That's an AC/DC song. I've got big balls. You got big balls. Who's got the biggest balls of them all?
An upside-down hooded sweatshirt just for his balls.
Man, I feel bad for that guy. But you see the guy in the plane. He thought it'd be funny to send everybody on the plane a picture of his dick.
Oh God! So he airdropped it.
He airdropped it, and somebody, I guess, accepted it and knew that it was him. So they came to the flight attendant. Goes, "Why would you do that?" I just thought it was funny. So he got taken off the plane, got arrested. Who thinks that's funny? Especially today with today's climate.
Right.
Knowing you have to be just oblivious to know that just isn't. He probably thought he wasn't going to get caught.
He was an old dude too.
Yeah, and there was two people sitting next to him. They left too. I don't know
off his California raisins to the entire coach.
But what? I guess, and then people I was watching it was on TikTok. People on the TikTok say, "Yeah, that happened to me once." So I guess it's a thing.
Oh, I've been airdropped a dick pic before.
Really? On a plane?
Yeah. No, in my store.
On your store?
In my store. Yeah, you get people come into any like a place. There's a whole bunch of people, and they'll share out photos. It's happened before.
Well, I did it because the service took way too long. I was just a little pissed off, and I just thought that was. I go. That come on, dude. That's not cool.
My immediate thought was like, I guess because it does tell you like, oh, like Chris would like to send you a photograph. Do you accept? But like when you said someone knew it was him, I was like, how could she identify him how could you identify someone by their balls? I was like, oh no, I get the name. Because I mean, thinking of like Chris Rock, or I think it was Chris Rock's bit back a long time ago. It was like, they were looking at Michael Jackson. It's like, describe, is this the one you saw? He's like, I couldn't find my dick in a lineup, and I know my dick like this.
Well, it's like when Clinton was going through his problems, he had a crooked dick. So that's how they knew. That's how they could tell.
A little curve.
Yeah, a little curve to it. So that's how.
Speaking of weird shit like that, did you see where R. Kelly got 30 years?
30 years.
30 years.
He should have really got life, but it's not like he's just one time.
Wait, he doesn't have that many years left. He's not going to last.
Yeah, well, it's like that Nazi guard over in Europe. He's 101 years old. They sentenced him to 5 years. That's like, fuck.
And he's hiding his face. Like at this point,
I think that's fucking awesome. Like the guy like lived his life, thought he's gonna get away scot free, but he's gonna fucking die in prison.
They don't.
The rat he is.
Because I was sitting there going, how many of them can still be alive?
Oh God, not many.
One now.
Yeah,
yeah. I said. So I was like, I get good, rotten, die in jail.
He's like killed within minutes.
He probably will die like as soon as he gets there, just from the shock,
Yeah.
But it's like it's kind of like what you're saying, like Pearl Harbor survivors. I think there's like one left. I think now that's it.
Really?
Yeah. Like it's either one or two. Because I mean, think about it. These guys were over at a minimum 18 because this is before the war. And so it's like. Yeah, they're all getting up there.
I used to know a few of them, but back in San Diego, but I don't know. I guess they're not around anymore. I did see Elvis.
Yeah, I was going to ask about that.
Oh yeah, what did you think?
I gave it an A+.
Wow.
I thought it was out fucking standing. And I know some people, if you don't like Elvis, you're not. I don't bother. If you don't like Elvis, or you don't know anything about Elvis, just leave the building because you're not getting. But I thought it was because they give you a lot about Colonel Tom Parker, which like the Kurt Russell movie. I mean, all the movies on Elvis before really didn't show the shady side behind the scenes, what happened to Elvis. This one does, and Austin Butler. I'm not kidding. At one point, both Cindy and we said after the movie, I go, I forgot this was a movie. I thought I was watching a documentary on Elvis.
That's awesome
because he did such a fantastic, and he's actually singing and the performance and just everything he's doing.
That's really cool.
It's just incredible. It's a long movie, and at first it's kind of all over the place. That's showing his childhood and how he developed his singing style, but they did not show his balls, which I was pissed.
Look, I mean, everyone thinks when he was doing his hip movements that he was being sexual. Really, he's just adjusting because they were so big that he didn't have
any ball powder.
Yeah,
but yeah, if I couldn't recommend it enough. I just thought it was, and I said Austin Butler give him the Academy Award now. He was that good.
Yeah, I think I wrote that to you, or maybe we discussed it last week. But like that was my only worry about the film, is that with it being Tom Hanks playing the Colonel, because the Colonel was a dick. And like I wondered if Tom Hanks could pull it off, because like when do you ever see Tom Hanks really be an asshole? You know,
I said this is the first time I can remember a Tom Hanks character I did not like.
Okay,
I mean, he does a fantastic job of being an asshole. I didn't like him at all.
It's probably got to be pretty like therapeutic for him.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
He's do something. He's not Mr. Rogers in this one.
No, but he's like, everyone's every guy. You know what I mean? Like, in everything he's ever done, like he's always been a lovable character. Literally, every single movie he's ever done.
Well, not the time he was on Happy Days. He tried to fight the Fonz.
Oh yeah,
he wasn't cool then, but
yeah.
He's like I said. I go, God, I hate him. Hate him. And found out later on when, Colonel Parker died, he owed $30 million to the International Hotel.
Oh shit!
He was the reason he was a gambaholic. He was. They show a shape when he goes to do the Vegas show, and Elvis is getting pumped back up and getting his career is coming back, and it's just it's what he did to Elvis. Basically, he killed him.
Oh yeah. I mean, he not only. I mean, it's a double-edged sword, and I'm sure my internet's kind of being shitty today. It's kind of a double-edged sword because without the Colonel, Elvis couldn't have been Elvis. But the Colonel made 51 cents out of every dollar Elvis ever made, and because I'm noticing I'm breaking it up, but because the Colonel had like an arrest warrant out for him in Europe, that's the reason why Elvis never toured Europe. And then, Elvis, and the Colonel was the one that pushed him to go into movies. He's like, you can only be a rock star for so many years, like go into movies. And that's the reason why I think a lot of the 60s output of Elvis isn't that good. It's because like all those songs, even though some of them are really good, they're all tied to those movies, so they're not like an actual kick-ass song like Elvis could have had.
Well, he's probably not wrong about being because singers eventually lose but he didn't. Even when he was strung out and he was, putting on weight, he still had the great voice. But yeah, it's a long movie, but it's fantastic. I enjoyed every minute of it.
I'll have to give it a shot. Yeah, I started watching.
How you can be broke.
Well, if you watch this, it explains why he's because he fires him, but then there's a reason why he can't.
Yeah, I gotta check it out. But I started watching on your all's reference or referral. Started watching Peaky Blinders. So far, I'm digging it. I think I'm like 3 or 4 episodes in.
Okay.
To the first season. But I'm digging it, man. It's kind of like, it reminds me, I can see why you guys like it so much, because it's completely like Deadwood meets Sopranos, like so,
that's a good way to mash them up.
And the music's kind of modern.
Yeah, it's modern music. I like that. I thought that was actually really rad how they pulled that off.
Yeah.
I've never wanted to smoke a cigarette more in my entire fucking life.
For real. You'll get into like whiskey too. It's like, and then
absolutely.
And you will hear over the course of the seasons like so many variations of Red Right Hand. You're just like how many people did they get to cover that song?
Right. So I mean, so far I'm digging it. I know it just ended. The series is over now, I believe. Yeah. But I heard that there might be optioning a movie potentially for.
I could see that because the way that it ends is satisfying, but it's also a little open ended. So you could, if you wanted to.
Well, you'll find out too. They're not afraid to kill anybody off.
No, and I mean, although the first episode was pretty cool, like they had to like maybe it was the second episode where they had to like pretend kill that dude because he stabbed the Italian guy.
Right.
And I was like, that's kind of badass. So like, how did they actually do that? Like, what did they do to make that? He got knocked out because he definitely fell forward, right? And then he woke up on the boat later.
And they just improvised some type of like blood or something like that. That was kind of cool.
Well, it's pretty. Yeah, they probably did some improvised kind of blood, but I mean, the concussion of just the blank at that close range of his head probably would knock you out. Yeah. I mean, that's how Brandon Lee died.
Yeah, and Rust. Too soon.
And the guy from Eric, John Eric Hexum, I think that's his name.
Yeah.
Every girl was in love with him. I just finished the first episode of season 6. So I do like how they took care of a character that passed away in real life.
I started watching that, and then Nick, you were mentioning before. I didn't realize it actually starts tonight, but the For All Mankind has been nothing short of great this season so far. It has everything, man. It's got science fiction. It's got the whole espionage bullshit in there. It's got like crazy storylines, right? And it's such parallels to what we're going through now with like SpaceX and stuff. So it's just really kind of cool to see that telling of it. But I have such a crush on Chantal Van Santen, by the way. I think she's just unbelievable.
Who's Chantal Van Santen? Which character?
She's been in a few series, but yeah, go ahead, Chris. Sorry.
Yeah, so she's the wife of Ed's wife.
Then ex-wife.
Have you watched the first season yet, Jack?
I'm 6 episodes in the first season.
Okay.
Every time I start back up.
Ed's wife, she runs the bar at the.
I think that's in season 2.
Oh, maybe it's season 2. Anyways,
she's the dark-haired. Ed's the main astronaut in season 1. Who trains all the women astronauts. It's his wife that
Oh, okay, yeah.
And that's what's funny about that's what's funny about this season 4 is that it cracks me up because it's supposed to be in 95, but it started out in 69.
Is this season 4 already?
Sorry, season
3.
Season 3.
Right.
But so they went from the late 60s, early 70s to 86 to 95, and then you have someone like her who's 35 playing someone that's supposed to be you do the
50s.
In her 50s. It's like you can't put a little gray wig on somebody and make me think they're that old, but you're that.
She's such a smoke show for a 50 something, early 60-year-old.
Yeah, you're like but it's good.
She's been in a bunch of stuff. She was in One Tree Hill. For those who watch One Tree Hill, she's also the a voice of one of the characters of the video game Apex Legends. So all the video game nerds out there might recognize her.
Every time I say, go ahead.
Well, I was like the women on that show. Like I didn't know who she was until because I never watched One Tree Hill, this series. But I knew Sarah, forget her name, from Alcatraz.
The blonde, yeah,
the blonde. And then I knew the skinny dark.
I interviewed her.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, she was an absolute fucking sweetheart, and we may or may not have flirted. I'm just saying.
But then, like the tall, skinny brunette who does the football pass in space, she was on a Canadian series called Bomb Girls, which is actually very good. It never got the credit it was due, but it's about the Rosie the Riveter type women in World War II.
Oh, okay,
and that's a good series. I think it was only 2 seasons, but it's
I'll tell you the underlying theme of this show is it's got loads of powerful women. In it, which I think is great. But
who was that? Who was that?
That was Chris.
No, sorry. A friend of mine calling me.
Okay.
Not bad.
In the future, if your phone's on, I'm going to have to give you a 5-minute timeout.
Understood. Thank you.
Let's just be you and me talking, Jack. That's awesome podcast. So
I'm kidding. No, every time I want to go I go, okay, I'm going to catch up on all the Apple shows. Well, then I gotta finish Peaky Blinders. I gotta finish The Boys next. I gotta finish. There's so many.
If you'd stop rewatching MASH, you could get to this stuff.
I don't have Hulu anymore, so I'm done with. I'm done with it. I'm not rewatching anything right now. I just finished Obi-Wan. So.
Oh, okay.
I liked it. I liked it from start to finish. Oh, of course, the final episode is really good.
Yeah, the end's solid. Yeah.
But I liked it all the way through. I sent Matt a message saying, "Hey, I loved it. I thought it was great." Yeah. I don't know about you guys, but I know you guys were kind of complaining about it.
Yeah, me and Chris we're more on the it's okay spectrum. Like, I can get into it, but I'm not going to get into it.
I can see where you guys said it should have just been one movie.
Yeah.
Well, I read an article by the writer who it really helped me understand because so he had a Obi-Wan trilogy in mind when he wrote this. He wrote this series is the first movie. It's all he actually got paid to write, but he had 3 movies in mind. So this was supposed to be a 2-hour and 20-minute movie. He goes, and then they contacted him and said, "Oh, now we're making it into a series." And they took a 2.5 or 2-hour, 20-minute movie and made it into 6 episodes. He goes, so they extremely stretched out his story. He got fucked. Yeah. And they did not consult him or ask him to write any of the 6 episodes. They just took his main points and then stretched it out over 6 hours. So really? That's, So that's another, I was like, okay, now I get it. You know, like why it's one of the reasons why it had a lot of holes in it.
Because I go, yeah, I see what they say. It just should have just been one movie. I mean, and you got to try. Plus, the whole time everything's happening. I'm like, okay, did that happen in New Hope? I mean, did we know about this thing, about that, or did we? I'm trying to remember things that happened because we know they're not going to die, right? All the characters, the main characters from A New Hope that are in this, we know they're not going to die. But then we're just like, okay, what's going on here? What's going on here? Did that happen to Obi-Wan? Did that really happen? I don't know. Never takes off his damn robe. How am I supposed to know?
Well, like early on, like one of my complaints was that I could tell where they stretched it. And, and Chris and I were kind of the same opinion on this is like in the previews before the series even started, they showed us all the really cool stuff in the teasers for episode 1. So when you watch episode 1, having watched the teasers, it's kind of really a boring episode because you're like, well, I already know what's happening. But if I hadn't watched those, I probably would have liked episode 1. But
I didn't see the teasers.
Right. So that's, but like, then you look at young Leia, she gets kidnapped by, the Red Hot Chili Peppers. And, and I said this to Chris a couple times, like, I felt that originally, probably in the movie, Reva, the third sister, the black Sith woman, was probably originally supposed to kidnap her in the movie version. And then you just kind of skip over to episode 4. But they needed to stretch it, so they let these random people kidnap her, only for her to be re-kidnapped again by, so I was like, oh, they just kind of threw in some more crap here.
The only thing I was thinking, she couldn't be seen doing it because the senator and all that stuff. I'm like that was the only way I could. I'm laughing at what John said.
Yeah,
he doesn't take off his robe because of Baltics.
Yeah, see, did you not see the coat? The coat, like how big it was when they're leaving the base.
Well, that's why Darth Vader has that.
He was carrying his balls.
Like my biggest beef with the entire show is that and we said this before. I think Nick, you just kind of alluded to it as well. It's like it was built up as a Darth Vader Obi-Wan show, and it wasn't.
Right. Is there going to be a season 2?
Yeah,
I don't want there to be a season 2.
There's going to be, and we're going to all get fucking mad about it. Like, that's but the thing is, though, it was definitely built up as an Obi-Wan versus Vader show. It wasn't, and it was this Reva character, which, in light of all of the bullshit that she got online, this has nothing to do with that. There was a boatload of racist assholes out there that were starting a ton of shit about her and as an actress and portraying this character. That aside, I thought the character fucking sucked. Like, I just didn't like the character. I thought that it was just a flat, predictable bullshit, extra character that was thrown in there. And as a Night Sister, not Night Sister, as one of the third sisters or the fourth sister, whatever it is,
Sister Sledge,
Inquisitor,
of the Inquisitors, right? Like, so, like, it was those characters are like supremely badass, like, and her character of Reva should have been way better than that. Mm-hmm. Like, I think they did not do that whole group of Inquisitors any justice.
They were never going to allow her to be evil.
Amazing.
Yeah, they were never going to allow her.
That's what I was about to say, because, spoiler alert, her best scenes as an actress is when she wasn't angry and was showing a compassionate side.
Yeah, in the last episode.
Yeah. I'm just saying that's what looked. But she did a better job.
But it's things like that I had issues with. It's like I wrote to Chris early on. I was like, okay, so this.
Can I stop you there?
Sure.
At this time, we're going to take a commercial break.
Fine. So early on, like I wrote to Chris and Matt, and I was like, look, I was like, and I
not
agree
Jack.
with Chris. I agree with Chris. It's like I didn't believe her as a character. I was like, because if she's meant to be evil, then she's acting too much like a spoiled, whiny person that I don't believe is an evil character. If she's going to be someone who turns good, then it's too obvious. It's like she's obviously trying to do something else. So it's like I just never believed her as a character. And then
but that's not the actress's fault. That's the writer's fault.
That's the writer's
she
fault.
could clearly act.
Right.
I mean, so
that's what we were saying is that like it's the writer. Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. So, Jeremy the Chat says the Obi-Wan series was basically book of Boba Fett with lightsabers and Vader, but not much more. I do agree with you to a point. I think that they realized that and they tried to do some things to kind of switch things up and put some distance between those two shows. But I mean, you can say that about almost every Star Wars movie, right? So you're looking at like kind of like the whole like Logan / the gunslinger. Like what's the story, that famous storyline about the gunslinger with the escorting the kid essentially, or the like.
There's a couple of them.
Shane, thank you. That's what I was looking for. Shane, Logan,
Shane is the Mandalorian.
Boba Fett, Mandalorian, all the same. Like and like for the first like 2 or 3 episodes of Obi-Wan, that's what it was. Mm-hmm. It was, yeah, and it felt that way. And I was reading somewhere as well that like, they came with a script and it was like, no, you got to make this into a TV show. So they go back to the drawing board and convert this 3-part movie into a TV show. And then Dave Filoni stepped up and was like, dude, this is too much like the fucking Mandalorian. Go back and fix it. And they had to, and you could tell, you could tell when you're watching it.
It was the same similar plot.
You can tell like right when you're watching it. Like, that's what my biggest beef was when they released a 2-hour premiere of the first 2 episodes. I was like, really? And you can tell it after that the third episode. You could tell they had to pivot, and the feel of the show changed, but it felt like a little too awkward, like smack in the face, and the way how that show pivoted around episode 3/4. And then the last 2 episodes they delivered on, right? So I think you could tell they put all of their balls into that the last 2 episodes.
We're back to balls.
I know. Had to tie it back into the sack somehow.
The actress that played
they killed it.
The actress that played Leia was fantastic.
I loved her. She got a lot of shit. Like, people are upset about her. People are upset about that character, and I thought that she was great. I thought she was playing
Leia. I mean, she was. That's how Leia's personality is.
Yeah, but like it's also one of those things. Like I agree. I enjoyed the actress. I thought she nailed the part that was written for her. But I agree with some of the slight beefs that I've read about it, in that like you always want a character to grow, and this character came out being a New Hope Leia. Of like,
yeah,
I know, but I'm saying, but she came out written as a New Hope Leia, as like I'm stubborn. I know what I'm doing. As like, and it would have been better for her at least to show some kid elements, especially like when Obi-Wan first rescues her, to be a scared child. But she doesn't. Like, she's just like, I'm going to do whatever the fuck I want. And to me, it was just one of those things. Like, a kid really wouldn't act like that.
But Leia never showed any fear. Did she? When was Leia ever really afraid? When someone was going to mess up her cinnamon roll hair, maybe?
Nah, when she was slave Leia. She was terrified of what's his name?
That's true, I guess.
Fat ass. Jabba. Thank you.
I would be too. I mean, he had a big ass tongue.
And let's. I'm not going
but either way.
Now, Luke, the kid that played Luke, I could have done without him.
Yeah.
Well, that's that. I mean, I don't know. I don't want to sit here and nitpick all of Obi-Wan, but yeah, there's.
Yeah.
But yeah, like going back to Reva, so like it was things that to me that are starting to cheapen Star Wars a little bit is how basically now lightsabers are just a weapon that anyone can survive from.
Right.
And so you see Reva get stabbed as a child and then stabbed as an adult, both times through the chest. And
meanwhile, Qui-Gon sitting here like, what the fuck, man?
Yeah.
The Jedi Master took out his appendix with one and he's dead.
Yeah.
Well, he has a special skill set.
He does.
Yeah. And then it's just things like we're going back to the writing. It's things that I think that bother me. It's like, so I didn't believe Ariva's character anyway. I was like, but if you get to a point where you're obviously giving her a redemption arc, and at the end, it's like, oh, one good deed by me not killing this child, spoiler alert, redeems me from a decade of killing Jedi and younglings, the same people I'm supposed to be avenging. And so it's like, no, like you're a war criminal. If you live, someone's probably going to kill you. You know,
right.
Well, who's going to kill? You got Obi-Wan, who doesn't kill anybody, right?
Right.
I mean, I guess he did kill a few people.
I'm just saying, like, if Vader had not,
but he didn't kill the right person.
At the end of Return of the Jedi. Sorry, I'm frozen again. So if Vader had not died at the end of Return of the Jedi, what do you think is going to happen to him? You know, it's like it's been 19 years where he's just been fear mongering everybody and killing everybody left and right. So it's like, yeah, he's a war criminal. He's
but he had a change of heart.
So let me ask you this question. All right, spoilers.
He's Catholic. Went to confession. He's all right. He's all right.
If you haven't seen Obi-Wan,
forgive me, Father. It's been 200,000 years since my last confession.
Why do you think? I think there's multiple answers to this. Why do you think Obi-Wan didn't fucking kill Vader?
It was silly, really, because it's like,
because
at that point.
I mean, I get it. Obviously, there's a fucking trilogy of movies about to happen, but like, as from a writing perspective, why would they put him in a position in which he very easily could have solved the fucking problem?
Well, let's say spoiler alert first.
No, fuck yeah, I alreid did that. You were talking over me, Jack, when I was giving the spoiler warning.
I'm sorry. Hey.
but
say you're sorry.
No, fuck off. But why would you write that? I mean, obviously the battle was really cool. That scene was amazing. Like the duality of the blue and red sabers on his helmet, and then and almost that throwback to that fight from Clone Wars. Like it was awesome. I thought it was really, really cool. And hearing the modulated voice wavering between James Earl Jones and Hayden Christensen, I thought was actually a very, very cool touch. And that whole bit of like, it wasn't your fault. It's not you, it's me type of shit. You know what I mean? Like I thought that was actually was beautiful. And that's probably
that was George Costanza.
Yeah. I thought that was probably my favorite part of the entire series was that literally that 30 seconds. Right.
Well, I think,
but I feel like it just for me, it's so stupid. Like what Jedi in their right mind wouldn't have killed Vader in that moment?
Right. Well, I mean, it's just like in episode 3 or 2, like the whole fire thing with Vader and Obi-Wan. A lot of that was just written for convenience. It's like, wait, you just literally saw Vader pull like 4 people out of their homes and kill them. And you're telling me Vader can't pull Obi-Wan across the flames because, oh my God, they're big flames. Like, no, it's stupid. And even the character,
I thought the same thing.
Yeah, even the character that later dies, that's running the Underground Railroad type thing, that's helping him. She shows up out of just plot convenience. It's like, oh, you're stopped at the road check. I'm going to show up and kill these stormtroopers. Then, 10 minutes later, she just happens to find Obi-Wan again. It's like, oh, now you're in trouble with Vader. I'll make a distraction so you can escape again. It's like, it's things like that bother me. Of just like, oh,
there was some. There was weak, lazy writing. Yeah, there was lazy writing, but I think the reason he didn't kill Vader, the scene where they're going back and forth in the Clone War, was it Clone Wars? Where they're fighting.
He's training him. Yeah,
training him, and he tells Anakin, a Jedi's job is not to kill, is to protect. And he says that, and then when he's fighting Vader, not Anakin. He's fighting Vader, and then when the mask is half, he sees Anakin, and Anakin is his friend, not Vader. So I think that's why he decides not to kill him. That's all I got. Could have saved a lot of lives though if he just would have killed him.
There was one two things. So one of the memes I've loved that I've seen probably 3 times now is in Return of the Jedi when Luke confronts Obi-Wan again. He's like, "You told me Vader betrayed and murdered my father," and then the meme is Obi-Wan going, "It's literally what he told me." you know, and then shit, what was I gonna say? I always lose track.
Yeah, that's actually kind of cool. I didn't think about that, and I haven't seen that meme yet. Like, that's actually interesting. Oh, yeah. Like, he's like, yeah, Vader killed your father.
Yeah,
that's actually fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Now that I think about it, that's cool.
The only line that was not addressed in the Obi-Wan series that if they do make a season 2, I'm sure they will, is that because I'm sure that Obi-Wan will see Vader again. Is that in Return of the Jedi when Luke looks at Vader and says, "Come with me," and then Vader says, "Obi-Wan once thought as you do. You don't know the power of the dark side." So I was surprised that we did not get some kind of talk with. Like, I expected that almost when they had that last standoff and they're just standing there. I expected Vader to be like, Anakin, like, come with me. Like, you can still be yourself. But that conversation never happened. And I expected it to happen there, and it didn't. Because I think that Obi-Wan will never give up on Anakin trying to be Anakin. But you never know.
I would say he just should have give up. Spoiler alert.
Well, interesting though. I mean, I don't know how they can make a season 2. Honestly, like I think that there might be a way to incorporate and have it be like Obi-Wan light. Like having he not be the main focus of the story. But like all the people locked up downstairs in that basement, who I'm pretty sure are not dead. All those Jedi's.
Someone who really liked The Force Unleashed, I would like it if they did like skip ahead like 5 years and make more of a Force Unleashed movie.
Yeah.
To where Vader is training, a secret apprentice, and that's one of his tasks is to find Obi-Wan. I would like that better.
I don't want to see I don't want to see Obi-Wan and Vader fight again.
Because we get it. I don't think they can.
Yeah, I don't think they should have any interaction at all anymore.
Well, I agree with you on that, and I think that's it. But there's so much story that they could entertain, and knowing what they want to do with other shows, there's a ton of storylines in there. I mean, there's an entire storyline about Thrawn and Vader, and that could be a very clever way of bringing Thrawn into the real world, the real world series, because Thrawn is one of the only people in the galaxy that knows who Vader is, because he knew him before, and then he knew him after.
It'd be very hard. You could do it, but because this is when Thrawn is still not Thrawn yet, like he's not powerful yet. Like because if it's no longer those old stories are no longer canon, so you'd have to do it before Rebels, and because we now know that Thrawn's probably not going to come back into the Ahsoka series long after Vader's dead.
True.
So it'd be hard.
Fair.
Yeah.
Well, moving on from Star Wars talk, I did see.
Oh, you opened up a can of worms now. This is an Owen Bruise now. I'm kidding.
I did watch Man from Toronto with Kevin Hart and Woody Harrelson.
Okay.
It's on. I think it's on Netflix. It's just one of those free movie type things. It's actually really funny and entertaining. It's a typical Kevin Hart movie, except for the ending. It's just. It should have ended like 10 minutes early. Like the last 10 minutes,
just stop it then.
It's just like what is the point of the last 10 minutes? Did you have to go a certain amount of time
right
to get paid? I'm like going, okay, this stopped being interesting. Like 10, okay, there's your ending. Wrap it up, shake hands, all that stuff. The last it could have been longer, it could have been shorter, but I'm like going, all right, this part is just brutal.
Yeah.
Just stop. It's not funny.
I didn't even know he had a movie out.
I didn't.
I didn't know. My wife said something. Hey, have you heard about this movie? I go, what movie is that? She said, Kevin Hart. I go, he's made another movie. When does this guy sleep? And
he's funny. He's a funny dude.
He's hilarious, and he's hilarious in this movie. And it's got the beginning. The first half of the movie is hilarious, and Woody Harrelson's great in it.
Wait, fucking Woody Harrelson? What? Kevin Hart and Woody Harrelson?
Yeah.
John says, have you ever watched a Ramblecast?
What's the point of the last 10 minutes? Yeah. A show that I texted you guys that I recommended. So when my folks were here a few weeks back, my dad watched the first 2 episodes of The Old Man, which is on FX or Hulu, with Jeff Bridges.
Bridges.
Oh, right. I had not seen that advertised and not heard anything about it. And my dad, he's a typical like action kind of guy. So he loves Jason Statham movies and Jean-Claude Van Damme and all that. So I usually don't take his opinion too seriously about like
he likes the classics.
Yeah, he likes anything. It's just like, let's just beat the shit out of people. And then
Steven Seagal.
Yeah, he loves all those kind of movies. And so I usually don't take his recommendations too seriously. But he's like, I think you should watch this. This is actually pretty good. And I was like, and then I kind of ignored him. And then he said, "Oh, John Lithgow's in it." I went, "Why did you fucking lead off with that?" I was like, "If John Lithgow's in it, I'm gonna watch it."
Well, Jeff Bridges too. I mean,
I have a lot of respect for Jeff Bridges. But if you say Jeff Bridges by himself, I'm like, oh, okay, I'll give it a shot. But you say John Lithgow and Jeff Bridges, I'm gonna watch it. I don't know why. I just like Jeff. I like John Lithgow. I always have.
Well, because he's a great actor.
Great actor. So anyway, there's only 3 episodes released. I think another one drops tomorrow. And it's really good. And basically, what it is he is not really ex-CIA, but he's kind of like a CIA spook. And he was in the Afghan war in the 80s, against Russia. And he's just been living secretively in the U.S. ever since. And somehow his death warrant from the U.S. government gets reactivated. And
so it's a burn notice.
It's something, like that. And but it's good. It's really good. And there's third episode. There's a little bit of a like, oh, I didn't see that coming. So it's like that. So I'm really liking it.
Well, my wife canceled a Hulu just before Murders in the Building 2 came out. She goes, "Oh, should I have saved it?" I go, "Yeah, I got so much to catch up on. Well, why don't we wait a month and we'll." Let me catch up on these other shows. But then you sent me that because I had seen previews for it when I still had Hulu. I said, "Oh, that's something I want to watch." And then she canceled. I go, "Oh, fuck it."
Yeah.
Hang on. Before you go too far off topic here from this, though, have you guys have you ever watched a Steven Seagal movie now?
No,
While High?
No.
While High? No.
While High.
Yeah. You catch on to some really weird shit. Like,
oh, he's a weird dude.
Weird dude, yeah.
Like, have you ever seen the meme of like Steven Seagal running? It's really awesome. He is the world's weirdest runner. Yeah. But like in all of his like his shitty like 80s and early 90s martial arts movies, like there's always like that musical montage of him like, training.
Right.
The fucking best. And like, honest to God, like you should go back because I watched all these movies when I was a kid. And obviously, I wasn't high when I was a kid, but now that I am, and I go back and watch these movies, it's actually super, super entertaining. Like Steven Seagal is a fucking weird dude, and he runs like a.
Well, you should if you're looking for some fun, search Steven Seagal on Saturday Night Live, hosting Saturday Night Live because they'll talk about him like the Hans and Franz character.
Oh yeah,
making like here a week. He goes, I forget who it was. But he said he was like he wouldn't do it. He goes, no, I'm better than Arnold Schwarzenegger. And they're like, yeah, but that's not the joke. He wasn't getting the joke. They just said he's one strange guy. Just every interview about him on that show, it's like he's like the worst host in the history of Saturday.
It is. Right. 30 years ago, Steven Seagal's hilariously awful SNL episode aired in 1991.
Because he didn't get the jokes.
Yeah. I think he's banned from SNL. There's only like 4 or 5 people that are permanently like banned. That he's
I can't believe he was married to, was it Kelly LeBrock? Is that
right? Yeah.
Really?
Weird Science. Yeah.
Oh my God. I learned so much about myself after watching Weird Science.
She did that commercial. Don't hate me because I'm beautiful. I still use that catchphrase today. Don't hate me because I'm beautiful.
So Jeremy says, stupid question, but who is today's Steve Seagal?
I don't think there is one. Like the closest action hero, like right now, is probably still Jason Statham, but he's a better actor than Steven Seagal.
I think you have to be because Chuck Norris. Let's face it.
Yeah.
Not a great actor.
Awful,
right?
Actually,
he's an awful actor, but he's Chuck Norris.
True.
You go with it, but
you know who I saw recently that it blew me away. What's his name? The guy who played Arrow on the WB or the Stephen Amell. Stephen Amell.
He's my hero because he cussed out. He told Dean Spanos off.
Nice. So I follow him on TikTok or Instagram, one of those things, and he's been on this show on FX called Heels, which is about like a independent wrestling league where I think he and his brother are wrestlers or whatever. And I haven't seen it, but I knew he was in that show. And I saw a clip of him and he was like with his daughter, and he was like on set, and like he was jumping into an ice bath, and dude, he got fucking huge, like jacked. Like he was always in shape guy in when Arrow was like, but he wasn't like anything crazy. But he is. Well,
he had to be because he really. So he's that big.
Yeah, it blew me away.
It's crazy how like actors do that. It's like the two I can think of is Zachary Levi and John Krasinski. Like both of them, like Zachary Levi put on like 30 pounds of muscle to play the lightning bolt person.
Flash.
No,
Shazam.
Yeah, like he and then same thing like John Krasinski put on muscle to play Jack Ryan.
Yeah.
And you look at him. I mean, watch The Office and then watch him now. Like you can tell he's
it's funny. He was in a movie. It was that the thing where the ambassador got killed and they were tortured. The 4 people. Was it Lebanon or? It was they had hearings on it and everything. It's Benghazi.
Oh yeah.
Movie about that. He's in a movie with he's special forces with the guy that plays Roy from The Office. Right. Now we know Roy. He, like you said, no way Roy could take him now.
Right. Are we reading something? What are we doing?
Jesus.
Oh.
Yeah, the dude's fucking huge.
Like look at him. Look at his balls.
Yeah,
his balls. Yeah, right.
He's got big balls. It's
But like he got ridiculously large, and he did a lot of his own stunts too. So I brought that up going back to the original question.
That picture on the right, though, I think he's skipping leg day.
Is he?
Look at there on the right. On the right, look in the back side of his legs there.
Right here.
The big look at him. He's skipping leg day. Look at those little calves.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, when you get that big, it's like actors that put on weight. You had like De Niro who put on 50 pounds to play Jake LaMotta.
Right.
You know, it's just you don't even recognize him. I mean, to put on 50 pounds, they're just like, "What did you eat?" Just kept shoving crap in my, and it's not healthy to do that.
Well, it's like I remember they shot Tom Hanks. Going back to Tom Hanks when he did Castaway.
Right.
Is that they shot all of the fat scenes like 4 months before, like when he's just like a regular guy, and then they gave him 4 months to lose all that weight. And I remember him saying like all he ate every day was he ate an apple, I think in the morning, and then he ate a handful of bran in the afternoon. That was all he was allowed to have, and and he dropped like 50 or 60 pounds. It's just it's rough. I couldn't have the discipline to do that. There's no way in hell I could eat just 2 things a day like that.
You're gonna pay me $20 million? I'll do it.
True, that's true. Oh, going back to people who run funny, I think I actually mentioned this years ago. Like,
oh yeah, Nick Cage.
Yeah,
you watch Nick Cage in the first Independence movie. They should have cut that scene out. I think he's running.
You mean National Treasure?
National Treasure.
Right.
There's a running scene. It ruined the whole movie for me. I can't watch that again. I'd have to fast forward it.
Someone always like I mentioned where like Natalie Portman is the one that always irks me. She's a straight arm runner. So like she's running, but she never moves her arms. They just stay straight the entire time. And it's like, and I'm hoping the new Thor movie that someone actually said like, hey, we need you to run and we need you to move your arms because you're running with a hammer.
Speaking of getting jacked, she got fucking
swole.
Yoked.
Yeah, she sure did.
Nick Cage is definitely
not bad for a 41-year-old. Yeah. And I've said this before, like everyone out there, Jeremy, like go watch Nick Cage's new movie. It's actually really good.
You said that. Yeah,
the weight of massive talent. It's actually really good.
He had some good.
I have
early
an
on.
interesting, fun fact to share that I can't share publicly about
that. Oh, you're just teasing the listeners.
I'm gonna put it in the private chat here.
Okay. I'm trying to think of anything else I watched. Been busy. Work.
Busy.
I got thrown like a crap ton of demos this week, and so I was like, oh, I should be pretty good this week, and then it was like, no, we got this guy. I'm like, son of a bitch.
Can't catch a break.
Can't catch.
It's just been so hot and humid here. I haven't felt like doing anything. I don't have any ball powder, so it's like fuck. Can't go outside.
It's actually been quite good here this week. It's been probably in the low 80s or the high 70s, so not too bad. I
do. Have you been seeing the people the plan now? The people on the West Coast, they want to start taking water from the Mississippi.
Of course they do.
Well, I mean, it's one of those things that we can make pipelines shipping oil from one end of the country to the other. Why can't we? Because the South does. We get a lot of water in the South. So why couldn't you build a pipe, from one end of the country to the other? Because I think it's you look at Lake Mead and how much water has just been drained from it. It's like, well, people stop moving to fucking Las Vegas. You're in the desert. That's why it's draining. It's like you can't just say like, oh, let's just ship water from one end of the country to the other, which is a good idea. But you also need to start saying like, hey, we're capping the population at this area at this because it's not sustainable.
Well, that whole Arizona, Nevada, and Southern California was not meant for all those people to live there.
No, of course not.
It never rains. I mean, my whole time growing up, I think I had one rain out playing Little League my whole life.
Yeah,
right.
Because it never rains. I mean, I still remember back when I was in kindergarten, and to this day, I don't run the water when I brush my teeth. Because we had someone say, they go, someday in California, because it doesn't rain enough and there's too many people moving here, we're not going to have enough water. So you got to conserve water. I still remember that. I'm not saying there's not climate change.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that wasn't meant for people to live there.
I think Nick just saw my message.
I did. That's what I'm reading. I'm like, okay.
It's a small world.
It is.
So that's,
Yeah.
So good for Nick Cage.
Yeah. Great for Nick Cage.
Yeah. I don't get it, but
I like sharing stories, but that's not my story to share.
You know what? I'll share it next week as my story.
Okay. That's fair.
Anyway, but yeah, I just find it because people admit they're like, we're not shipping water to the West Coast. Fuck them. That's how we get along here in America. Fuck you. We're not sharing.
It's coming from a guy who used to live on the West Coast too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did tell my because my dad always had that. He goes, you guys get a lot of rain back there. He goes, what they should do is just build a pipeline. You know what? I go, screw you. Get your own water. Because Colorado at the time was cutting California off, and because they're like, because they knew eventually, hey, we're running out of water.
Right, and that's one. It's like the Front Range, which is everything east of the mountains, which is what I technically live in. The Front Range. Most of the water here is just from the little rivers that come down from the mountains, but they've even built an aqueduct now coming over the mountains into the Front Range that's tapping into the Colorado, and that's what I mean. It's like because the Front Range is blowing up, like Colorado Springs all the way into Cheyenne, Wyoming. It's like it's going to be the next major metropolitan area.
Yeah.
And it is
by land.
It's going to be crazy in that, if the population booms here, that means less water for Arizona and Southern California. And
do it.
Yeah. And California's got a pickle because it's one of those things like I've read for years now. One of the reasons why California is always fucked is because you have there's a difference between
liberals.
Well, it's not liberals, but it's a difference between someone who's a conservationist and an environmentalist, and I'm a conservationist. I think most people are, but it's like,
I'm an asshole.
I disagree with you on that, Nick. I don't think most people are.
Or what? Conservation.
Conservationalist. I think more people should be.
I'm a conversationalist.
Conversationalist. But like like most of the reservoirs in California are in the northern end of the state. But the thing is that what I've always been reading about is that there's a little fish on this main river in the north that's near extinction. And so instead of like keeping the reservoirs full for the dry seasons, they let them out every year so this fish does not die off. It's like, so every year they say they're in a drought. It's like, well, stop fucking letting your water drain out into the Pacific, And it's just like, it's things that you need to sacrifice. Like, do you want everyone to have water, and do you want the crops fed, or do you want this little fish to live? Like, you have to choose.
I get it. Fuck the fish, right?
Well, I mean,
I know someone's.
You don't want the fish to die off. That's true, but still, it's a little. It's from what I understand, it's like a little minnow. It's like it's a little bitty fish. It's like we can do without it. It's okay.
Mm.
Unless you're that fish, then you're like, hey, this is bullshit.
Yeah.
But you look at Vegas. They just got an NFL team. A couple years ago, they're trying to get an NBA team. They're trying to take the A's from Oakland, building more hotels, more people visiting, more showers, more that you can put the sign up there saying, we want to conserve water here. Only use one towel, only take one shower a month, whatever it is, because you go to a hotel now, it's always about conserve this, conserve that, no matter where you're at.
Oh yeah, crack me up. Like I read one the other day, a friend of mine posted, he goes, anyone else getting these fucking emails like every day where it's like, set your thermostat at 78, try to conserve electricity. And then the next email I get is buy an electric car. It's like, fuck,
Well, yeah, but, anybody who has the Nest thermostat, like in my, was it National Grid? I think is the National Grid's my electric provider, and they have all these deals where you can tap in. You can allow them to tap into your Nest, and you can allow them to make adjustments for you. And if you do, the incentives are like either like a $50 gift card or like $100, like whatever bullshit. And they're trying to make those changes. But what's interesting is you have full autonomy, you have full power of going back to what you wanted if you want to. But like I was like, hey, why not? I might as well. I'll take a free $50 gift card for.
I think ours is programmed to save us money because sometimes I go, why is it so hot? Why does it always go off when it's hot? And it's like all of a sudden it's hot in the house. I go, what happened to the air? Because downstairs we're not running the air conditioner. We have 2 units. We just bought blinds for all the windows, and we have everything shut.
Yeah.
And for now, I'm gonna go get some. We have a window way up top that I can't get a blind up there, so I'm gonna get some of that stuff that goes over the glass that blocks the sun, and it stays cool downstairs.
Yeah.
It does. We don't need it. I just have a fan on. It's fine.
Jeremy asked in the chat, asking about my solar panels.
Yeah.
Are they worth it so far? Yeah, dude, absolutely. Like I haven't been able to see the math yet, just because they've just installed them back in May, and like I'm adjusting to how much I use them, or how much I use my everything else in the house. I'm so much more conscious of the power that I use now. That's number one. Number two, looking at the numbers, I've got about a 93% offset of my.
Do you own them out? Do you own them outright, or do you?
Well, I'm financing them. Yeah. So,
but it's not a company that comes around and they get the money for the. Okay.
No. So at the end of the year, I'll get a fuckload of tax benefits off that. So far, it's been great. So I have central air, which runs on electricity, and during the day, the solar panels can power it and then some, which is fantastic. It also powers the power wall. So when the sun goes down, the power wall controls the house. And I'm probably nearing the end of the battery. I will say, like during the summertime, when the air conditioner runs, I use a lot more, right? But as an example, right now, my power wall is drained already since 5 o'clock, just because it's been my.
Well, I know when I was trying to convince Cindy to get them, we had those huge pine trees we only had sun on our house about 6 hours a day.
Yeah.
Now it's from the time now it's from the time the sun comes up, the sun comes down.
Oh, yeah, took them all down.
I go. See, I told you.
And every state's different, right, with their tax incentives and whatnot. But to me, it's been a no-brainer. I think the ones that I got, I think they actually look nice, which is interesting because most of them don't look that great, but the finish of these actually look really nice. I've also have since getting I installed the car charger, right? It's like a wall mounted car charger outside. So I'm charging my car, with the sun, which is great. Like, and actually I have it set so my car charges at 2:00 in the morning. That way I'm actually at off peak pricing. So my car is charging on grid essentially. But everything else is during the day is off grid because of either direct solar to the inverter or the power wall to the inverter, which it's been great. The only thing I might think about doing down the road is adding a second power wall, but those are really pricey, so I don't know if I'm gonna do it or not. We'll see.
I'll be curious. I'll be curious come winter, like how much can it store, because you're getting so much less solar time. Because like I have I got a switchback in my backyard path, and I put little solar panel lights out. And I noticed, like this time of year, they're on all the way to roughly like 4 a.m. Because they charge all day and then they're on all night. But in the winter, I noticed this past winter that they were only, as soon as the sun goes down, like around 8:39, they're out by 11 p.m. I was like, oh, yeah, that's interesting.
It's pretty interesting to watch. I'm obsessed with watching it throughout the day, just gonna see how what's being absorbed and what's not and whatnot. On a normal sunny day, it's not too hot. The battery will charge up by 1:00 in the afternoon, and then the battery's full. And then from that point forward, it then self-regulates. It only pulls down power for the panels for what's being used in the house. And obviously, you use less electricity. I will personally be using less electricity in the winter because I have gas heat as opposed to electric heat or anything like that. So
that's how ours is.
Yeah, and then I'll be looking at necessarily maybe selling energy back to the grid at that point. So yeah. So as a hybrid EV car owner, just having the stats is a huge incentive to care about your power usage. I don't know about the battery replacement or cost of materials yet. Yeah, you're not gonna have to worry about that shit. By the time you have to worry about it, you'll be getting a new car. These batteries in these cars they're at least 10 years.
The technology's really improved.
Yeah.
You even mentioned the solar lights, Nick. I remember when we first moved here, we got solar lights. It would last like an hour.
Right.
I go, this is useless. Now they, like you said, they're on all night long.
Yep.
Going back to the A's, John's the retired guy says the A's got a good vote from the environmental group today to help them stay in Oakland. I hope they stay in Oakland. I mean, I was a big A's fan in the early 70s and all that stuff, but they've been in Philadelphia. They've been in Kansas City. Now Oakland, they don't need to move again.
They got to stay in Oakland.
Yeah, they've already lost their football team. It's bullshit when teams move. Even though I would take a team to San Diego any day, but it's just part of the business. But no, if they don't get the A's, they'll definitely get, because the NBA, Major League Baseball said they'd waive the relocation fee for the A's to move to Vegas. I said, well, that's either, I think they're putting pressure on Oakland to build a stadium for the A's, which is bullshit. If stadiums are if stadiums are big money makers, why aren't the owners building their own stadiums?
Exactly. I've always hated that, the fact that they always make the taxpayers make the fucking stadium, and then the owners sell the stadium to some fucking corporate, for the name. And it's like, and then the taxpayers don't see any of that money back. It's like,
yeah, do a pull up page out of Robert Kraft's book.
Right.
Part of the problem.
The right page.
Part of the problem at San Diego, people don't talk about. Chargers wanted 2 expansions for Qualcomm, so they did it at millions and millions of dollars, and then they said, "Okay, well now we want a new stadium," which pissed the politicians off in San Diego. So when they were talking about it, they said, "Okay, who's going to? There's $70 million left on those 2 expansions. Who's going to pay that off?" They said, "Well, you guys, the city," and they're like, "Going, look, we can't justify that. You all that different stuff. Plus, the city was losing $15 million a year on the stadium.
Right. Tearing
it down saved them, and they sold the land to San Diego State, which is building their own stadium. But it's just so stupid.
Yeah, anyway. I read a non-confirmed rumor that UCLA and I think
USC
are kind of thinking about joining the Big Ten. I'm like, what? So basically, they're going to try to, because it's getting to where the SEC is like the major conference in college football right now, and so they're trying to do it to where it's like the Big Ten and the SEC are going to have like the two main conferences from.
Well, the Pac-12 has really dropped in stature.
Oh, it has. Yeah, it's crazy how like it was great. Like you had Oregon and Stanford and like a couple of really good solid teams in there just a few years ago, and now they've all kind of just sucked.
Well, the good thing if it does happen, then San Diego State could move to the Pac-12, because keeping them out of the Pac-12 was USC and UCLA because they got so many players from San Diego.
But
look at all your star players from San Diego were going up there because they would say, "Look, do you want to play in the WAC or the Mountain West, whatever shitty conference they're in, or do you want to come play in the Pac-12?" Anyway.
Yeah, but it's one of those weird things. Like, I look forward to that USC Rutgers rivalry. It's like, yeah, there you go. Like, fuck
Rutgers.
Yeah.
Well, that's like San Diego State.
Rutgers.
They play Wyoming. They play Air Force. It's like
Boise. Yeah.
Boise's not bad, but but I'm hoping it happens just because San Diego State can move into a better, and they're not traveling to Wyoming. They're not. Nothing against Wyoming. Don't get me wrong. Anyway, it's all about the dollars.
It's weird because, like, I'm Colorado State is the college around here, and you also have Colorado, but they're compared to the SEC. I mean, they're worlds apart. It's just like you can barely even fill a 40,000 fan stadium, whereas in the SECs are like all over 100,000. It's like, what the hell?
Right.
Well, you have Alabama and is it Georgia?
In the East,
Clemson.
Well, Clemson's ACC. But yeah, in the SEC East, you have the big three are Georgia, Tennessee, and Florida. In the Western Conference, you have Alabama.
Wait. How did Tennessee get looped into that?
Tennessee is still in the SEC like a major school. Like it's like, we've sucked in football for 20 years, but we're still one of the most winning schools in history of college football.
Okay, all right. Okay,
but
you have a cool end zone.
It's true. It's true.
Okay.
Yeah, but I look. Yeah, but it's still one of the biggest schools in the SEC, as in like fans showing up. It's one of the biggest stadiums. Still a moneymaker. We're turning around. We're turning it around. Damn it. Anyway,
what else is there to do in Tennessee?
But in the West, you have Auburn, Alabama, LSU, Texas A&M. So yeah, you have some really good schools.
Oh yes, Quebec's empty stadium.
Nordiques.
Stadium. Is that where the Expos played?
No, they played in Montreal.
They played in Montreal.
I didn't even know Canada had
Pedro Martinez pitched for the Expos.
He did.
For the Red Sox.
Avalanche won Stanley Cup. Woo woo.
Oh, suddenly now you're a Avalanche fan,
dude. No, fucking hockey season. By the way, I mean, there's nothing beats playoff hockey. Yeah. Nothing. Like it's incredible.
I kind of feel sorry for
season
those,
lasts too long though.
But why the fuck does hockey last longer than basketball?
You're the national champions for like
basketball lasts a long time.
Basketball lasts a long time.
No,
they gotta shorten that shit down.
No,
they need the games
this fall. It was nice. This past fall.
Yeah.
We have a team here that's a great team, Hurricanes. I haven't been to a game in probably 3 or 4 years.
Oh, my Hartford Whalers shed some tears.
Yeah, again, I wasn't here. I wasn't here when the team moved.
Yeah,
I didn't steal your team.
What they were just kind of like it was interesting, right? Because we obviously had the Bruins in Boston, but it was weird to have the Bruins and
Hartford
in Hartford have two separate teams. It was weird, but that was back in the days of like Gordie Howe, and then. The way my dad, and we also had the Springfield Indians, which was like the AHL team. So it was like Hartford, then a half an hour north was the AHL.
Now that the Springfield Guardians,
they are not the Guardians. Where they are, they're the Falcons. They changed the teams to the Falcons. Because the peregrine falcon apparently is native to the area, which is weird. But I remember my dad used to make the joke whenever we go to the Indians games. He's like, "Oh, we're gonna go to a fight and a hockey match is gonna break out." But that was the AHL. Had a blast though. I mean, I didn't get to go to a lot of Bruins games growing up because I didn't live close enough to the city. But we used to go to the Indians games and the Hartford Whalers games. Brass Bonanza, one of the best musical montages for a sports team. Look it up; it's fantastic.
Go ahead.
I was like, to answer your question, Jack, though, like, I didn't grow up knowing anything about hockey, and then like I said this before, like in Knoxville, we had a minor league team called the Speed. Now they're the Ice Bears. But the only way you could get people to come was to have free beer for the first period. So it was like,
yeah,
holy shit.
Let's go.
So let's
go.
That's why you go. You just go.
Chris will be there. Let's go beat go beat that old guy's ass.
Oh, man.
Yeah. And
let me at him. Put
him up.
Yeah, but like as especially now because hockey and Broncos are king in Colorado.
Right.
Not sure if you guys heard that or not, but I'm saying, but the hockey and the Broncos are king in Colorado. Yeah, and so I've gone to 2 or 3 or more hockey games since I've lived here, and it's kind of like how I don't really like soccer that much, but I respect it. Like I get it, like why people like it. But when I watch hockey, I love it because it's really it's soccer but with violence, and I like it.
Well, the athletes are really cool too. I mean, I've had the pleasure of meeting a lot of athletes.
Yeah.
But growing up in San Diego, all we had was minor league hockey. And it's funny because a lot of the kids, the players, their kids, I went to school with them. My mom loves Lynn Ronson, this guy, and he gave her stick. So I actually have his stick. His hockey stick, I should say.
That's what she said.
In his balls.
But when I first started working at the rink in La Jolla in San Diego, there were no adult teams. There were no youth teams at our rink. Hockey was just like, okay, yeah, it was skating, figure skating. Wayne Gretzky comes to the Kings. Boom. Now Southern California is huge in hockey just because one guy came to, I mean, obviously one of the the greatest player ever, they were smart. They came and played exhibition games in San Diego, which was smart because it built the interest for the Kings.
Which is so weird because like why was soccer? I feel like soccer was so fucking popular in the 80s when I was growing up.
Pele.
Like, well, no, but not even but we didn't have soccer in the United States. I mean, MLS didn't start until into the early 90s, which by the way, Apple TV inking a 10-year deal for MLS.
There was soccer in the 80s because Pele came and played for the New York Cosmos, right?
That was the 80s or was that the 90s?
It had to be the 80s. The 80s. Yeah. Because when I was a kid, I started playing soccer, and they said this is going to be the sport, the number one sport in America, because all of us playing soccer are going to grow up playing. And I love playing soccer. And the San Diego Sockers, we had outdoor team and we had an indoor team. The indoor team won 11 championships in 12 years, which actually killed the indoor soccer league because all the other cities couldn't. We were the Yankees of the time in soccer. We had all the best players, and we just keep going. And it was I think the arena held 13,500, sold out every game because it was exciting. But and then now they're trying to get a Major League Soccer team in San Diego, which I don't understand how it's so hard when Mexico is right there.
Yeah.
But check this out. So Apple TV booked a 10-year contract with MLS, which is interesting because MLS has not been a huge moneymaker in the States. I mean, it's sustaining itself, but it's not growing at a nearly fast enough pace because you look at it pales in comparison to like your Premier Leagues, Championship Leagues, and so forth and so on. But Apple TV bought 10-year rights to MLS. They're going to stream every single game to 30 different countries. That alone is going to increase the popularity of MLS as a league where more people might be attracted to come and play because of how much airtime it gets.
If San Diego got a team, I would watch the games.
It'd be interesting, man. Like, it's going to be interesting. I mean, I was a season ticket holder for the Revolution for a couple of years. It's fun. It's fun to go watch the games.
I didn't think was Prince a good soccer player? I knew he was good at basketball.
Let's go crazy.
Yeah, let's go. Yeah.
Nice.
out there. I mean, I think he gets sweaty. Hopefully, he had enough Gold Bond, out there and wearing that purple velvet.
He has huge balls. He does.
Yeah.
Well, he did.
Yeah, he did.
Womp womp.
It's just dust now. But
all right, it's getting a little late. And
I think at this time we should wrap this show up. I think
we got a couple of emails. You didn't read my message in the private chat, but we got 2 emails.
I'm sorry.
I'll read them. I'll read them because you're not a good producer.
For your information, we have 2 emails.
Yeah, there you go. See,
let's get to them.
John says,
get to bed.
Apple TV puts a Sunday baseball game on at 8:30 in the morning here. They got Friday night baseball. They're not doing Sunday baseball. But anyway.
So we got 2 emails, and for everyone out there, Matt's only been gone for 1 episode, and both these are Matt centric. So I'm going to allow it just out of respect for Matt. But after this, you can't talk about Matt anymore. Did
you like this one? Elvis, what Matt has left the building. Did we like this one?
Pretty good.
I did like it, Jack. Yeah.
It's more effort than he put in his last 17 drawings.
Yeah. True. So our first email is from Riley, and I believe he is our friend from Australia.
Hey, Riley.
Hey, an Aussie.
He didn't write to us. He wrote to Matt. So
fuck Riley.
Fuck off.
He wrote, Matt, hope you're getting through all of your shit you talked about. You made me better. Even though you will be taking
money.
Yeah.
I'm still in love with you, honey.
Everything will bring a change of genes.
So Nick has become the Matt where you just interrupt him.
Yeah, exactly. Even though you'll be taking a break, you are still the fan favorite. So I was like, I already hated this email the minute I read it.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah.
Why don't you go
okay. Say Matt takes a couple of months off, which is, I have no problem with that. Is he still going to be the fan favorite?
Yeah, no.
Fuck no.
I don't think he ever was. He just
he never was.
Never was. If I don't see you in the future, now this is true. If I don't see you in the future, I'll see you in the pasture. So
no, all right.
Yeah.
Just we thought we hated him. He went and redeemed himself at the end.
Yeah. And then he says, more Lego talk, please. I don't think
we're also saying him, but Riley could very easily be a female.
That's true. That could be a female. That's true. Forgive me.
That's true. I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
Our next email is from our good friend Randy. Hey, Matt.
That's all the time we have. Sorry.
And of course, it's to Matt again. Yeah. All the best and enjoy your sabbatical. We will look forward to return whenever you're ready. Your nemesis, Randito.
All right.
There you go. A couple of odes to Matt.
And if you'd like to send us an email, send it to, what is the email address?
No idea.
rcadcast@gmail.com.
Once again,
rcadcast@gmail.com.
All right. Well, wrapping it up, this show is made possible by you, the patrons. We thank all our patrons, but at this time, we're going to thank 5 patrons. And I didn't do any artwork for them, but
Jack is so excited for wherever the fuck he did. Look, he's giddy.
Actually,
I put in an effort. Look at him; he's happy.
I did put an effort. And I'm looking at it going, okay, I probably should have put more of an effort into it. I did this just before we started recording, but it's an Elvis thing, and at this time we're going to thank Hound Dog Eckhart.
Oh, okay.
Bossa Nova Tack from Paris. Viva Las Vegas, Joanne with the Plan. I'm going to read my writing here. Return to Sender, Ed the Creepy Letter Carrier.
Oh, good one.
That was a good one.
And let's see. Jailhouse Rock, Maggie the Magnificent. And Happy Endings, Robert Kraft.
Nice.
Okay. There you go.
So
we thank all the patrons.
That might be the best
That's the best one you've ever done.
Yeah. In 2022.
Who, me or ever?
I'll let everybody else answer that question.
Then I started thinking. I go. Do I really want to do this every week? I do have the email password. I just keep forgetting to go on it.
I have it somewhere.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't. But anyway, thanks for everyone who joined us in the chat. Thanks for keeping us company. We'll be back sometime next week. Chris is going to be on vacation.
True.
It could be just Nick and I, but I'll try to line up somebody else to join us. So there's always three of us.
Like you said, I'm easily replaced.
Well, I'm not wrong, but you know.
Yeah.
Oh, Chris, I meant to tell you. So Ralph, has his Star Wars podcast, and he goes with Jay. He goes with another guy, which I've never met, but like Jay and Matt were guest traders on that podcast. And when they were closing out the podcast, Ralph's co-host, when Matt was promoting, like, "Oh yeah, I'm on Owen and Brews Barbecue," the guy was like, "Oh my God, that's the best name for a Star Wars podcast I've ever heard." And I was like, Chris would be so happy right now.
Thank you very much. One might say
everyone out there,
it was a job well done.
It's a well done.
Getting those dad jokes now, Pat. All right, guys, that's all we got. Hasta luego. Great show, kids. 1 in a million. We're out of here. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
See ya.